Здраво, я съм Andrea от Learnwithsmile. In today's video, we are going to talk about the verb ЖИВЕЕ. ЖИВЕЕ means to live. So, we are going to conjugate this verb in present tense, past tense, and future tense. First, ЖИВЕЕ. This is the root of the verb, okay? This is the root of the verb. Let's see how we can conjugate this verb in present tense. If I want to say I live somewhere, I live, ЖИВЕЕам, I can say yes, ЖИВЕЕам, but ЖИВЕЕам is enough. Why? Because of the ending am, ЖИВЕЕам, okay, m, it represents the tense and also the person, the subject in the sentence. So, ЖИВЕЕам means I live. Yes, ЖИВЕЕам also means I live, but it's not necessary. So, ЖИВЕЕам, I live. ЖИВЕЕш, you live. ЖИВЕЕш. If we want to say you live with the subject, we can say ти живееш. Okay? Or sometimes if we want to emphasize in the sentence the subject, then we can use ти живееш. Like, ти къде живееш? Like, I live, аз живеам в Македония, а ти къде живееш? So, in this case, I should use the subject form, the subject. Then, third person singular, ЖИВЕЕ. ЖИВЕЕ means he, she, or it lives. Okay? In third person singular, usually we use the subject. So, we say той живее, та живее, or тоа живее. He lives, she lives, or it lives. Okay? Then we go on with the plurals. To say we live in Macedonian is ЖИВЕЕме. ЖИВЕЕме. You see, we add me. ЖИВЕЕме means we live. And the long version of this, using the personal pronoun, will be ние живееме. Ние живееме is the same as живееме. So, we live. Second person plural, ЖИВЕЕте. ЖИВЕЕте. Be careful with this verb because when we have two vowels, we pronounce them. We cannot say ЖИВЕМЕ, ЖИВЕТЕ. It's ЖИВЕЕме, ЖИВЕЕте. So double E here we have. Double E in Macedonian, E. ЖИВЕЕме, ЖИВЕЕте. So ЖИВЕЕте means you live. You live could be also вие живеете if we want to use the personal pronoun. ЖИВЕЕте means you live, and by saying you live, I mean second person plural, like a group of people, or maybe if we talk to a person in a formal way, okay? So also I could use ЖИВЕЕте to one person when I talk to one person, but if I talk in a formal way. And the third person plural is ЖИВЕЕат. ЖИВЕЕат. ЖИВЕЕат means they live. If I want to use the personal pronoun, it will be тие живеят. Тие живеят, they live. One more time. Аз живеам, or just живеам. Ти живееш. Той живее, та живее, тоа живее, or just живее. Ние живееме, or just живееме. Вие живеете, or just живеете. Тие живеят, or just живеят. Perfect. If I want to make a negative sentence, I'm just going to use не in front of the verb. So, I don't live would be аз не живеам, or just не живеам. Ти не живееш. Той, та, тоа не живее. Ние не живееме. Вие не живеете, тие не живеят. Perfect. Let's continue with the past tense. If I want to say I lived in the past, okay? So, ЖИВЕЕв. ЖИВЕЕв. One thing that I want to mention here is that the last consonant, the last letter here, V, is pronounced as F actually. It's not ЖИВЕЕв, okay? So it's ЖИВЕЕв. ЖИВЕЕв. It's like F. ЖИВЕЕв. So I lived, ЖИВЕЕв, or I was living, ЖИВЕЕв. I could use also the personal pronoun if I want to. Јас живеев, I could say that. Second person singular, ти живееше, ти живееше, or just живееше. But here is better if I use the personal pronoun. Why? Because as you can see here, the second person singular and third person singular are the same. The forms are the same, which means that we better use the personal pronoun here. So, ти живееше means you lived or you were living, and third person singular would be той живееше, he lived, he was living, та живееше or тоа живееше. Let's see the plurals. The first person in plural will be живеевме. So here also the V sound is replaced with F when we speak, okay? When we write, of course, we have to be careful, it's with V. But when we speak, we don't say живеевме, okay? Or живеевме. It's живеевме. It's like F, like very soft F, okay? Живеевме. So we were living, or we lived, живеевме, or ние живеевме. You were living, or you lived, second person plural, вие живеевте, and also here we have the same rule. If we talk about the second person plural, the same form is being used for the formal speech, if we talk to a person in a formal way, okay? So also we are going to use живеевте. And the third person plural is ЖИВЕЕја. ЖИВЕЕја. Here we have added one consonant, y. You may see this consonant in other occasions also because it has a function to connect vowels, okay? So if there wasn't a y, this consonant, it would be ЖИВЕЕја, ЖИВЕЕја. It's a little bit difficult to say, to pronounce it, and I suppose that's why we have this y, ЖИВЕЕја, ЖИВЕЕја, okay? So, тие живееја, they lived or they were living. ЖИВЕЕја. So if we want to make a negative form from the past tense of this verb, we are also going to use не in front of the verb. Не живеев, не живееше, не живееше, не живеевме, не живеевте, не живееја. If I use the personal pronoun, it will be јас не живеев, ти не живееше, etc. Perfect. Let's go on with the future tense. The future tense is basically like the present tense. The only difference is that we have que at the beginning or in front of the verb, because it's also like a word. So que plus present. That's how we make the future tense. I will live. Que живеам. Јас ке живеам. You can also say it that way. Ке живееш. Ти ке живееш. You will live. Тој ке живее. Та ке живее. Тоа ке живее. Or just ке живее. He will live. She will live. It will live. The plurals. Ние ке живееме. Or just ке живееме. We will live. Вие ке живеете. You will live. Тие ке живеат. They will live. Perfect. And now, if we want to make a negative form from the future tense, what we are going to do is, instead of que, we are going to use нема да. Нема да. So, instead of que, we use нема да. Нема да живеам. I won't live. I will not live. Нема да живееш. You will not live. Нема да живее. He will not live. She will not live. It will not live. Нема да живееме. We will not live. Нема да живеете. You will not live. Нема да живеат. They will not live. It's possible to say не ке живеам, не ке живееш, but more often we use this form, нема да. So now we are going to see a few examples here using the verb ЖИВЕЕ. These examples are all in present tense, but the purpose of these sentences is to show you how we use the verb ЖИВЕЕ with some prepositions, okay? So the first sentence says, Jana живее в Skopje. Jana is the subject in this sentence, Jana. If I use the personal pronoun, it would be ta, right? Jana живее, she lives, Jana lives, в Skopje. Vo is a preposition, it means in, okay? So if I want to say Jana lives in Skopje, I must use this preposition, vo, okay? So Jana живее в Skopje. Vo goes with cities, countries, neighborhoods, etc. So inside of that place. So Jana живее в Skopje. Perfect. Jana живее в Madrid. Jana живее в Istanbul. If I want to make this sentence in past tense, I would say Jana живееше в Skopje. So Jana was living or lived in Skopje. Next sentence is Mila живее со Cimerka. Mila is another person, also feminine, female. Mila живее, so she lives. Mila живее, Mila lives. Со Cimerka. So we see that we have used here another preposition. So means with. So Mila живее со, Mila lives with what? With whom? Cimerka. Cimerka means a roommate. If you are talking about a male roommate, then we say Zimmer. But if it's a female, I have to use Cimerka, okay? Zimmer, Cimerka. And here we understand that her roommate is actually a female, okay? Mila живее со Cimerka means Mila lives with a roommate. Also, we can make this in past tense, Mila живееше со Cimerka, or in the future tense, Mila ќе живее со Cimerka. We can say Mila живее со родителите, like Mila lives with her parents. Mila живее со маче, Mila lives with a cat, she has a cat, etc. Or we can say Mila живее со Igor, Mila lives with Igor. So we can use a name as well. Okay. The third sentence, Peter живее на улица. We usually write it like this, улица, Орце Николов, брой, бр for брой, 3. So, Peter живее на улица, Орце Николов, брой 3. Peter lives on, this is another preposition, on street, улица, street, Орце Николов street, брой 3, number 3. So, Peter lives on Орце Николов street, number 3. Perfect. If we talk about the street, we have to use na. We cannot say vo ulica, okay? This is a rule. So it's better if you remember it, if you memorize it like this. Peter живее на улица. Always na ulica we say, not vo ulica, okay? Then na can be also used if you want to say he lives on the second floor, on the third floor, also on the floor. So Peter живее на втор кат, we can say. Peter живее на втор кат. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for your watching. Bye bye, ciao!